Welcome to Storytime with the Gilberts. Today we're taking you to southeast Germany.
To one of the Nazi headquarters, the Eagle's Nest, otherwise known as Hitler's Lair.
Look, I know you want to be the Grinch. I know you want to wear your lederhosen.
I do. Today, we're going to Hitler's Lair.
How dare you enter the Grinch's lair! The impudence! The audacity! The unmitigated!
Unmitigated gall.
Unmitigated gall.
No, side to side.
You've called down the lightning. Now get ready for the boom.
Gaze into the face of fear.
Hi everyone, welcome to Learning Brave. I'm Skylar.
I'm Ross.
And today we are telling stories. And we're going to embarrass ourselves. But we're sharing with you some of our disasters, and we'll take you traveling with us to an amazing place in the world. We're going to southeast Germany. So, like you said, Hitler's Lair.
Yes. So we during our travels in Europe like to take our children to many of the World War II sites, and this was no exception. We actually were staying just over the border in Austria in Maria Alm, and you would have heard that in an earlier video when we went on our epic Gilbert hike.
So we'd first heard of, what's it called? Oh, the Eagle's Nest.
Eagle's Nest.
We first heard of that from a blog that I read before we left to travel, and it described this perfect learning family adventure.
Like the epitome of the world schooling event.
Like world schooling. It's like this family had two kids, granted no babies, but they had two kids about 10 and 12, and they went to the Eagle's Nest and they saw these like amazing views, and they learnt about World War II, and they ate these like giant delicious looking cream puffs while they bonded in the sunshine. What's that? You being a frog?
I said yum.
I thought...
Yum.
That's so weird.
That's what
Everyone thinks I'm weird. It's you. You're so weird.
You're quite sensible on these things, and I'm not.
No, I'm not sensible.
Well, look, we wanted to replicate that, didn't we?
Yeah, we wanted to copy them exactly. We wanted to go to the Eagle's Nest and have this learning family experience. And we'd learn about World War II together, we would eat delicious German treats, and we would look at the beautiful view. First of all, what is the Eagle's Nest?
It's it's one of the sort of, not a headquarters, but it's sort of a place that the Nazis would go to sort of escape things, and they would plot genocide.
Yes, I'll tell you in a minute how we learnt that.
Pretty much.
It was disturbing. So it's a building perched right on the top of this hill in southern Bavaria, and it looks over Germany and Austria. It's amazing. And now it's a restaurant, which is weird.
In fact, the peak is actually called Kelsteinhaus.
How do you know that?
Well, the actual peak is called Kelstein, and Haus is the house. So it was, the Allies called it Eagle's Nest, mainly because it was perched way up in the mountains, and it just looked like an eagle's nest, but the real name is Kelsteinhaus.
So to get there, we'd read that you couldn't drive there. You had to catch a bus, which you had to pay for, and we were like, ugh, why do they make us do that? We were all annoyed about that. So we found a car park, and after 3 hours of trying to prepare our children for an outing for the day,
Yes.
sunscreen and hats, and everyone needs the toilet, and
we were like, come on, arms out, legs out,
arms in, legs in.
It's like, come on, get the sun cream on both
And that's
arms.
my wife. She's so tired.
Stop ripping off Matthew McIntyre.
Come here. Arms up, arms in, arms up, arms in. That's my wife. She's so tired, she can't dress herself.
We went to catch the bus, and we had to buy a specific time slot because there is only one bus that goes up and down the hill, and they switch out, so there's only one on the road at a time because it's very narrow and windy.
The road going up to Eagle's Nest is 4 meters wide.
Yes, so once we saw that, we were like, oh, I'm glad we didn't drive up ourselves. I'm glad we caught the bus. But while we were waiting for the bus, our kids were being idiots and like mucking around and pushing each other, and our daughter fell over and hurt her wrist like 1 minute before our time to get on the bus. And it was the middle of summer, and so it was really busy, and
Hot,
we couldn't get another
sweaty.
time, and we were there, and it was, it'd take a lot of effort to get there. And our daughter had just hurt her wrist, and then everyone was loading on the bus, and so we were like, what do? We
Suck it up, princess.
suck it up,
Let's
princess.
go.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Because it's hard to know in the moment. Like, is she being dramatic? Is it broken?
Yeah.
Is she maimed for life?
A
Is she just
little
being
bit
a
like that time when your mother, my in-laws, your family went skiing, and your brother broke his wrist, but your mother, my mother-in-law, hi mum, said, "Suck it up, princess." He skied the whole day with a broken wrist.
Yes, that happened.
It happens sometimes.
So it's hard to know. Anyway, we got on the bus, and I remember we were on the bus, and our kids are terrible on the bus. Like, they always play musical chairs. Like, no one will ever sit still. They always like hop from seat to seat to seat and annoy everyone.
And then we have to say, okay,
And then
one more move, and that's it.
yeah, that's it. It's your last seat. And then suddenly the bus fills, and they can't move around, and we're separated. And
Anyway, good fun.
yeah, so that was going on, and we were driving up, and our daughter's like, "Oh, my wrist is all sore." Like, whimpering, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, anyway, we were in the moment. We didn't know what to do.
This is the epitome of world schooling.
This is just like typical of our troubles."
Yeah.
So as we're taking the ride of the bus up the mountain, this lovely, beautiful German voice was telling us the history of the eagle's nest. And I'll never forget, her beautiful voice said, Hitler and his friends would come here to plan genocide. And Ross and I like looked at each other like,
What?
oh my gosh. And then we looked out the window, and it's like sunny and beautiful. It was a very disturbing moment.
We were going on a 4-meter wide road on the side of a cliff, like switchbacking up and up and up and up to this amazing place. And yeah, we sort of already started to feel some vibes.
Yeah, like it was sunny and perfect on the outside, but the history was so disturbing. It was weird. And then our daughter might have broken her wrist.
Yes.
That's it. Anyway, we got to the top of the mountain, and by then she was crying a lot, and we had to attend to her wrist. So we...
Thank you to the staff of Eagle's Nest. Thank
Ross-
you so much.
Ross took our baby and the other kids to one side of this very crowded, very hot plaza area, and we like found a doorway that looked like it could be a medical centre, knocked, and then I commenced charades with German people. And like, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
can just
really
see.
good
I
at
can
it.
see now. It's like
It's very effective.
das ist gut, wunderbar. That's how I would always finish that in Germany. Whatever I say das ist gut, wunderbar.
Maybe not after you just pointed out your daughter's broken wrist.
Das ist not good.
Oh, there you go.
No wunderbar.
I'm sorry to our German friends. We love you.
So fun.
It wasn't broken, but they wrapped her up in a bandage and
The adventures of the travelling Gilbert Circus.
they said a lot of things to me. I didn't know what they were saying, and I thanked them, and then we left.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was sort of wrangling kids. One of the really interesting things, though, when you arrive at the top of the sort of the parking area where the buses drop you off, there are two ways to get from that area up to the top, the very peak where the Kelstein house is located, which is the actual building itself. And one is through, you can actually walk up, which we did not do. Or you actually go into this tunnel that
A Nazi secret evil tunnel.
that goes into the
Into the
mountain,
mountain.
and then there was an elevator.
A Nazi evil elevator
Yeah,
that Hitler rode.
you could almost
Did-
put Nazi evil at the beginning of as like an adjective of everything we're about to say.
Yes.
So we went in there. So this is just a crazy piece of history. And in fact, I learnt that Hitler didn't like to actually take the elevator. He didn't trust elevators. He didn't trust them. He's very paranoid man, with probably good reason. But we ended up, we caught the elevator up and we arrived at the top, and man, the views were just something we've never seen before. It was amazing. Looking over the mountains and...
But you can't see that until you get out of the restaurant. So you
Yeah.
arrive inside the restaurant and then you have to kind of walk to the top to see the views.
Yeah,
So before we did that,
amazing.
we were trying to get cream puffs because that's what we'd read about and
Do you
promised our kids.
Do you think there are any cream puffs in the restaurant?
No.
No.
And no seats either. So it was packed. It was boiling hot. All our kids were like, oh, my wrist and cream puffs. And like, and the baby was crying because he desperately needed breastfeeding and there was literally nowhere to sit.
As I said, there were a lot of evil vibes going on that day.
Oh man, it was, and I was like, come on, we're gonna like learn
It was
and bond.
it was as if the whole spirit of the place was sort of calling out, "Welcome to Hitler's evil Lair."
The Grinch's Lair!
Let's see how many times you can fit that in.
Should I?
Yes, in
Okay.
20 minutes.
Sounds good.
So,
And so we
so
sort
you
of
walked out into,
Hitler's evil Lair.
yes, we did. Looking for cream puffs, and there were no cream
No
puffs.
cream puffs.
And then a screaming baby and boiling hot sun, and then by that point, I cracked it. I just was like, yeah. Unfortunately, to this day, if we ask our kids, do you remember that time we went to the Eagle's Nest? They do not think, oh, treats and learning and
So
bonding.
amazing.
No, they remember mum cracking it, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I remember a crying baby incessantly, my wife cracking it, and me having to wrangle all the other kids and try and make a day of it. Look, we were in Hitler's evil Lair, and that's probably the spirit of what we were feeling on that day. A world schooling experience never to be missed and possibly never to be experienced again.
So we did eventually make it to see the beautiful views.
We did.
And wow, it's an amazing part of the world. So gorgeous. So
And particularly from the top, we could see this like a lake.
yes. And so I had planned, and I'd read in the blog of Perfect People that they took this boat on Lake Königssee. And they
Königssee.
like saw these beautiful Pinterest-worthy, gorgeous places, and we were going to do that.
Unfortunately, because of all the evil vibes and being in Hitler's evil Lair, we'd run out of time. And we could not go and do the extra
So
thing
by
that
the
we wanted
time
to
we'd
do.
like, I don't know what we achieved. I managed to breastfeed my baby by like perching on the edge of like someone else's stool and like flashing the world and feeding my screaming baby. At least in Europe, they're pretty okay with that.
They are.
And
You can read about that in our other.
Yeah, you can check out our blog for the full story.
Yes.
It was crazy. But by the time we'd done that, we were like, we're done with,
Hitler's evil Lair.
yes, the Lair. We were done with the Lair, ready to cleanse ourselves of
Yes.
that evil experience. So we went to Lake Königssee and we thought, look, we can't go on the boat, but we can swim.
We could swim, and there were a lot of
So-
people there. There were
Yeah.
a lot of people there swimming, and we made it there. And this is actually probably the highlight of the day for me. I actually still remember this really distinctly. But we arrived on the shores of Königssee, and I thought it's sweltering.
It was hot.
It was sweltering. I thought this will be pleasant, and I put my feet in.
We like
Oh.
dipped a toe in
I don't
and it
think
froze.
it was like doing an ice bucket challenge.
Kidding.
Okay, here we go. Like seriously, it
I
was
don't know
freezing.
how water can be that cold in summer. It was like liquid ice.
It had
freezing.
it had come off the glaciers of the Austrian Alps and the Bavarian Alps.
And there were these teenagers like daring each other to jump in and stay in for
Yeah,
like a minute
that was
and then
really
get
funny.
back out.
I'm looking over there and there's like all the babes, all the German babes just lying on their towels on the side there, and there's all the German guys like saying, "Hey, that is good, wunderbar. I will go in. You will see how tough I am." And I was looking at them going, "Okay, this should be good." The guys sort of waltz in there and they splash each other a bit and they're like, "Woo,
like, "Oh, it's freezing," and
let's
they got
go." And they sort of come out again.
Our kids got in for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, they're in there swimming.
Yeah, like
Fully immersed.
they turned blue. We had to wrench them out to save their lives from hypothermia.
Oh, it was so funny.
They love swimming.
So funny.
And so they can now say
It was a proud moment for me. I couldn't help but I looked over at all the young adults over there, and I just
you're like, hey, check out the Aussie kids.
check out the Aussie kids. We breed them tough in Australia. So, despite having a pretty interesting experience at
you know what's funny?
Hitler's evil lair,
We're not tough with snow. It's too cold. But
No, yeah,
water
that's true.
is like worth it because you get to swim.
That's true. That's true.
So
So, despite having a great, an interesting start to the day at Hitler's evil lair,
okay, I think that's enough.
you challenged me how many times I could say it.
All right.
We did end the day on a great high down in Königssee, and it was a great end of the day.
So it's an amazing place. There's like adorable shops and there's boat rides that you can catch if you're punctual and without risk to disasters.
Lots of lederhosen.
Lots of lederhosen.
And dirndls.
And I'm so sorry that Ross doesn't have his lederhosen. But as soon as he has his lederhosen, we'll get him to dress up and act out parts of the Grinch.
Put it this way, if I had my lederhosen here, I would have looked a little bit like this.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
So good.
So good.
Okay. All right, story time. Let us know if there's a part of the world you want to know a story about. We probably have had a disaster there we can share with you. If not, it's coming in the future, hopefully. So we'll see you guys later.
Bye. You're me, man, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
What do you want? I mean, Grinch! Oh no! Hello, little girl. You see, even now the terror is welling up inside you. Doubt! Another unmistakable sign of the days.